and welcome to the speed run of Tropico 4. This is for mission 1, and as you can see, the avatar doesn't matter, you can choose whatever you want. But for background and rise to power for this first mission, they don't matter. These are just leftovers from my other missions. But developer helps a lot for this mission. You can choose whatever you want, but developer is probably for the best one for this because of the minus 20% building cost. Because we're speed running I'm speed running anyway. I've never heard of anyone else speed running this game. The plus 50% pollution really doesn't matter. So yeah, and then you can choose whatever you want for this. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna bother explaining any of the choices for rise to power for this. Now for traits, these are the ones that I find that are more optimal for this mission. Although ideally they really don't matter actually. For this first mission, you can choose whatever you want, and this is also a good way to level up any of your stats too, because this mission takes under 10 minutes, and a lot of it is just you build stuff at the beginning and then that's sort of it. So if you wanted to get that expert achievement, or if you want to level up traits for other missions, if you wanted to speed run for yourself, this is probably the best way. So I only have a couple of them maxed out. I haven't really been doing any leveling up for this kind of stuff, so I'm not going to bother. So for the traits, like I said, these are the three that I recommend: Cheatscape, Hypochondriac, and Sailor. Cheatscape, you get minus 15% building cost, which is fairly good, and it combos very well with developer. You get some minus communist faction respect, which doesn't matter, and your maximum salary is set to 25. If you were going on for like a long game, then I suppose this would matter a little bit, because eventually you really couldn't you couldn't increase the wage anymore. But because we're trying to end missions as early as possible, obviously because we're speedrunning, uh, it doesn't matter. Because I think there's only like one mission so far where I've ever set the maximum salary to 25. Because most missions, you can just hire help to get through objectives, so it really doesn't matter. And sorry for the pause. The reason why I paused is because I realized I keep saying we, and that's because I keep thinking I'm part of the speedrunner community. But the reality is that I'm the only one who's doing this. So the next thing we get is there we go again. That's what I mean. It makes me feel better. Okay, shut up. Hypochondriac. It's the next best thing. Or normally I would never get this, but it's actually pretty good on this island. Just because of the fact that for I think it's the third objective, you have to get your healthcare to above 45% satisfactory. So presumably this helps speed things up, because citizens will visit the clinics and hospitals twice as often, and also increases the service quality of hospitals and clinics. The first hospital costs no money. That doesn't matter. We're not going to be getting that far. I'm going to be building 2 clinics, and that's just about it. Sailor, I get just because of the fact that your next objective after that is to build a ministry, and then you have to fill the ministry cabinet. But obviously, getting 4 out of 5 of them requires you to actually build an economy and a whole island, and actually work. So instead, what I do is just hire the ministers. You're going to see a lot of that, just hire foreign people to take up the slots. Now there's only one person we can hire locally for our minister, for the ministry cabinet, and that's for self-defense, or defense anyway. So there's that. And Sailor is actually one of my go-to perks, just because it's super useful for tourism, which is the best way to make money, because it decreases the construction prices of docks, tourist docks, luxury liners, marinas, and ship-arounds. And tourist docks, for some missions we will be building more tourist docks. I think there's 2 of them where we have to build multiple of them. And ship-arounds, I think, are part of modern times, which I haven't gotten to yet. Everything else, like I said, it really doesn't matter for this mission, but the thing that we're looking for is the minus 25% time between ships. So that should theoretically decrease the amount of time needed to get the 4 out of the 5 ministry people that we need. So with all that said, we're going to start our first speed run of mission 1. So there's going to be a cutscene. The next thing you're going to have to memorize is first off, you have to want to click this down here, so that way you're going at fastest. Because I have developer and cheapscape, I can quick build stuff pretty quickly, and I don't have to rely on I don't have to rely on builders. So the other thing too is to memorize the quick key, the hotkeys. I mean, so you're going to be asked to get 4 priests. What you do is you fire all the soldiers and you make sure you block up their spots, and then you can just get one of these guys and hopefully he'll go on to the next thing, and hopefully you won't get trolled. There we go. So this is where the real trolling begins, because you have to get you have to improve your healthcare to 40 on 45, and that takes a while. So this is the only reason why the mission takes so long. And that and the final part of this mission is you have to go through an election, and the election takes a year. So, and as far as I know, there's nothing you can do to skip that in real time. If someone wants to, figure that out, I'd be entirely grateful. So here, the other thing I forgot to mention was General Santissimo, or as I call him, General Santa. He will just give you money. He will, every time you go below something like 5k of debt, he'll give you like 10k, and he'll give you 10k up to 3 times, so you can get $30,000 for free off of him. So again, we really don't have to build an economy. This is the biggest bottleneck right here in this mission, is improving the healthcare to 43 on 45, or sorry, just to 45. So and like I said earlier, you really want to memorize the hotkeys. So C is for church, F is for farm, L is for clinic. I customized a few things. There are plenty of things to customize. There's like the whole keyboard is essentially customizable if you wanted to change the hotkeys. So if you wanted to switch around church and clinic, you could totally do that. But like I said, it's faster, because otherwise you have to like right click. What I did for childhood museum and pub, because I haven't hotkeyed them yet to anything, you have to go to their buildings and get them. So that takes more time rather than just pressing a key and putting it wherever. So like I said, now we're getting trolled, mega trolled. There we go. So now we're gonna get our ministry. Quick build it. We can get our own guy, and then we hire the rest of them. Foreigners. So now we have to wait on the next ship to come, but this is why I get sailor, because you can see this, it's when the next freighter is coming is completely random, but like I said, sailor reduces the amount of time by 25%. So the ships just come here faster, but it's completely RNG. Now you can see these red little quests here. You could take them if you want, but they just slow things down. I think there's only 2 missions that I've done so far out of I've sped run up to the 9th mission, and I'm gonna start number 10 probably after this mission, or try to speed run it. Mission number 10, I mean. Yeah, it just, for the most part, you don't have to do them. So now he gave you the option of housing, and you choose tenements. The hotkey for tenements is T. So you obviously, the reason why you just get tenements is because it's just 2 buildings. It's nice and quick to build them both. And I haven't really. You could do apartments, but that takes more time because you have to buy the blueprints for apartments, and then you have to set 3 of them down, and then you have to click them. So not only does it take more money, it takes more time. And then there's also mansions or houses and stuff, and it's just like, oh, well, that takes more time too. So tenements, it's just 2 buildings. You quick build them really quick, redundantly anyway, and then that's it. So now the only thing we're waiting on now is that's a little option right there. He'll give you the option to do. He gives you 5k, and you can put in your Switch bank account or put in your treasury or split it up. Doesn't matter what you do. I just put in the treasury just in case, because there's an election we have to win. And what happens is that your opponent will do something sneaky and like steal all the votes or something. So you have to issue tax credit, the tax cut issue. That's what I was. Edict, I mean. So this tornado is scripted. It always happens as far as I know. And for those who are wondering, my personal best on this mission is 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Pretty sure just because of the clinic thing alone is I've already gone past that. Like, I'm not gonna make it. So that was another objective that you had to do, and that was increase your entertainment to 45. website. You have to increase it to over 45% or something like that. That's why I built the cabinet, and then that's why I built like the cabinet, the issue and stuff. The pub, the childhood museum, and the cabinet or cabaret. Uh, so I have to explain the last two things too because now I'm behind because I got an tornado. And so what happens now is you want to go to edicts, general, and then issue tax cut, and that will help you win the election. And that was it. So the first thing that happened was I got the thing for telling me about an upcoming election. The first option makes you give a speech, which you don't want to do because that wastes time. In case you have to select stuff, and and not only that too, you're going to issue the tax cut edict anyway, so it doesn't even matter. The second thing that popped up was President or is it Vice President Nick Richards. By the way, he's not a crook. He gives you like 100 option of giving you 100k, and you can put in your Swish bank account or you can put in your treasury. Obviously, you want to put in your treasury because that way you can definitely issue the tax credit edict, and then once you do that, then the level's over, and all you have to do is wait for the election to end, and then the mission will end, and then this whole thing takes about under 10 minutes. And like I said, my personal best is 7 minutes 35 seconds. I've recorded, but I've been going back and recording all these missions at a lower resolution because when I recorded stuff, it was at 1080p, and that takes up quite a bit of space, and I don't really have the bandwidth. It's not like I can't upload it in a timely fashion. It's just that I have a limited amount of bandwidth I can use each month. So you won't be seeing content too often from me, or at least not at high resolution anyway. But this is just being uploaded. This is at 720p as far as I can tell, so it shouldn't matter that much. So this is like the first time I've ever seen the election go by so terribly, where it's like 29 to 23. But you can pull a little sneaky thing and steal some votes at the very end of the election, so it doesn't matter that much. This is one of the only few missions that I've come across so far that can be done in under 10 minutes. So unfortunately, there's 3 missions I am working on right. Oh, actually, it went in my favor at the end. But so the second option will steal a couple of votes, but it won't matter because the mission's gonna end as soon as this election goes by. Well, this first option just makes the thing go by regularly, so you don't steal votes. So that's it. That's the end of the first mission. Once I see the victory screen, oh, there it is. So that's it. That's the end of level 1. That's the end of this. We'll do speed run for level 1. So I'll see you guys for level 2. Level 2 is a little longer. It's about twice as long. You can do it in about under 15 minutes. However, there is a lot more RNG involved. A little bit more RNG involved around it because you have to depend on a couple of things. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward mission, and like I said, it's done super quickly. There's more other missions that are far more concerning, and right now there's about 3 missions that take over around 25 minutes, and those are ones that I have to work on a lot, but I'm not working on them right now. I'm working on, I want to go through all the missions first. So anyway, I'll see you guys for mission 2.